Hey, what is up guys? My name is Emiliano. I'm making this video to show you guys how to body recomp. This is a very controversial topic, and if you ask anybody who's actually experienced in fitness, they will tell you that this is actually possible. Sometimes not optimal, but it definitely is possible. I'm going to show you guys who this is for, who should do a body recomposition, how to do it properly, and how to maintain your results. Before I do get into the video, I did want to mention that I still have a very few select spots left for anybody who wants to be coached by me for free. Just go to the link in the description, fill out that Google form, and I'll reach out. Now, who is best fit for a body recomp phase? I think this is the most important question, and this is the reason why this is such a controversial question and why there's so many different answers and so many different points of views on this specific question when it comes to the fitness industry. The reason why a lot of people will say that it's not possible is because it's most of the time it's not very optimal if you don't fall in a very specific group of people. There's three specific people who fall and are best fits to go through a body recomp phase. Number one, complete beginners. And when I say complete beginners, I speak about people who have literally never touched the weight in their life, have never taken their nutrition seriously, have never pretty much done anything. Specifically, people who are overweight, skinny fat people, which there's a lot of those nowadays due to, sitting down, a lot of junk food, that kind of thing. And yeah, skinny fat people and people who have never touched the weight in their life, regardless of their starting point, usually have a higher body fat percentage. And even if they do a cutting phase, they're still not going to look better. You're just going to end up looking flatter, which is why a body recomp phase is more optimal for you. Number two, people who are experienced lifters who had gains in the past. Maybe they stopped lifting for a couple months, maybe years sometimes, and want to get back into the rhythm. Muscle memory is a thing. Therefore, this is a very good opportunity for you to regain your muscle while trying to get rid of most of the fat that you may or may have not gained during that month or those couple of years that you weren't training. And number three, people like myself. I went through a body recomp phase, which can also be called a cutting phase, but it was more of a body recomp phase in the last 6-7 months. I went from 180 pounds to 150, and I retained a lot of my muscle and even built a little bit of muscle. I know because my strength stayed the same throughout these 6 months, and I was able to make some pretty decent gains given the fact that I had already trained for about 2.5 years before this. As you can see these pictures, I was not taking my nutrition very seriously. I took my training seriously, but not necessarily my nutrition. So people who maybe go to the gym, they don't have a specific routine, they don't really take the nutrition seriously, go through a body recomp phase, especially if you were bulky or you're higher than 20% body fat like I was in this picture. So I'm gonna break this into workout routines and then nutrition. In terms of working out, there is no reason why you should change or try to work out in a specific way because you're going through a body recomp phase. There's absolutely no reason to do that. Always, regardless of if you're cutting, you're bulking, you should always try to go as intense as possible for your body to still be able to recover, but make the most gains possible. And what I mean by this is that you don't want, usually for most people, you don't want to overdo the volume. Don't do too many sets. Prioritize intensity over sets. Do 2 to 3 sets as opposed to 4. Stick to 6 to 10 rep range as opposed to doing more than 10 reps per set. This allows for your body to stimulate as much muscle growth without damaging your central nervous system. Whenever you damage your central nervous system, it's a lot harder to recover, it's a lot harder to have energy the next day, and it just messes up your next workout again and again. Very few select people benefit from high volume, so just focus on training 3 to 5 times per week, hitting every single muscle group twice per week, doesn't really matter what the workout split is, and always focus on progressive overload. Just continuously getting stronger, progressing in your lifts, having a lift log, logging in how much weight you did, how many reps you did, and continuously getting better and better. There's no reason why you should do more volume. You should always prioritize intensity. This is what drives the most muscle growth without necessarily having to have so much fatigue on yourself mentally as well as physically. In terms of cardio, this is the absolute best time for you to do cardio. Prior to me going through a body recomposition phase, I literally never did cardio. I maybe did some jump rope from time to time, but I was never really consistent. I literally thought that cardio actually killed gains, even though I knew that it was kind of a lie. But anyways, the thing is, you don't want to do high intensity cardio too often. Unless you really enjoy it, like of course go for it from time to time, but if you really want to optimize your gains, don't do high intensity cardio too often. That involves, sprinting, doing a lot of long distance running at a very high pace, doing a lot of jump rope, that kind of thing. Instead, focus on things like incline walk, just getting your steps in. 10K steps can burn anywhere between 300 to 500 calories per day, which if you're already in a maintenance phase, which I'm going to get a little bit more into when it comes to, nutrition, that kind of thing, you're basically adding to that maintenance calories that you're eating, or if you're in a small deficit, it's going to basically aid, is going to be extra fuel to the fire as opposed to, seeing it as the fire itself. So just use it as a tool to stay lean throughout this phase. It's going to help you shed a few extra pounds of fat over the course of the long run. However, it's not the be all end all. Now, when it comes to nutrition, what do I mean when I say that the extra cardio that you do is going to burn an extra 300 to 500 calories per day? Well, when it comes to your nutrition, you want to be either in a maintenance, you want to be eating exactly what your maintenance is, which is going to allow your body to use that extra body fat that you have as fuel to fuel your muscle growth, or it's going to allow you to not gain any kind of fat and optimize muscle growth. So depending on if you're very, very high body fat percentage, like 25+%, or if you're around 18 to 25% body fat, around that range, you will want to be either at maintenance or in a small calorie deficit. Of course, the more obese you are, the more likely that you want to lean more towards a deficit. And that would be anywhere between 250 calories to 400, maybe 500 calories max below maintenance. This is going to allow your body to be burning as much fat as possible while still giving your body enough fuel along with its own fat to fuel muscle growth, as well as anything else that your body requires. So eat either at maintenance or a little bit below that. And when it comes to protein, this is the non-negotiable. Always at least 1 gram per pound of your desired body weight. The more healthy of a body fat percentage you are, the more that you want to lean more towards your own body weight. However, if you're very, very obese, in very, very special cases, you might not have to necessarily eat 1 gram per pound of your body weight, because you just have so much extra fat to lose. But either way, I don't see a point in lowering your protein. I would always try to shoot for at least 1 gram per pound of your actual body weight. I don't see a downside to eating extra protein throughout the day, so definitely always hit that protein goal. And finally, when it comes to the nutrient timing, that kind of thing, just extra tips. I would really not worry too much about the amount of carbs that you're eating, the amount of fats, all that kind of thing. Just focus more, if you really, really want to optimize everything, focus on when you're having your pre-workout as well as your post-workout meal and what exactly you're eating. I do have a few other videos that you can check out after this video, which go a little bit more in depth on what kinds of nutrients, what macronutrients you want to eat. Of course, it's carbs, but of course, I give examples in that video, so go check that out after this. But just to give you guys a rule of thumb, pre-workout meal, a lot of carbs, maybe some fats, not too much protein. Post-workout meal, same thing. Other than that, all your meals should have a lot of protein. Most of your calories should come from protein at the end of the day. But yeah, you want to optimize your pre-workout meal by having a lot of carbs beforehand, 2 to 3 hours optimally. So that way that gives your body enough time to digest, actually absorb the nutrients and be able to get the most benefits from those carbs. If you don't know, carbs obviously fuel your workouts. They're your body's main energy source, right? They're either sugars or starches. And if you eat enough carbs before a workout, it's going to allow you to push your body beyond or to its limit, which is going to stimulate the most muscle growth. If you don't optimize your pre-workout meal, it is very likely that you won't be able to push as hard as humanly possible, which is going to basically leave gains on the table. And finally, recovery, a very, very big factor, which I myself completely ignored during my whole first couple of years of training. I really, really underestimated the saying that your body's ability to recover, which to the average person, of course, that sounds like it's nonsense, right? I mean, of course, everyone gets sleep, right? Wrong. If you're the type of person to be going to bed at 1, 2, 3 a.m. and then waking up midday the day after, right? Chances are that your sleep schedule is probably not the most consistent. And the more inconsistent that your sleep schedule is, and the more that you're staying up, staring at a phone, killing your melatonin, the less likely that your body will be able to fully recover from a workout. And if your body does not fully recover from a workout, that means that you won't be able to push as hard the next workout, which is basically just going to stall your gains. And why leave gains on the table? So make sure that you're consistently going to bed at the same time, waking up at around the same time. This allows for your body to, really set its circadian rhythm, and allows for your body to consistently get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, quality sleep per night. I personally track my sleep with an Oura ring, right? I'm not saying that you have to buy one, but it's honestly an amazing purchase. I've been extremely satisfied with it. It is really, really accurate. And if you are more aware of how long you're sleeping, how much deep sleep you're getting, which if you don't know, it's typically where most of your body does most of its recovery. That's where your body repairs muscles to make them bigger, stronger, that kind of thing. But on top of that, REM sleep, all of that is very important. I don't recommend you guys to, get into a big rabbit hole. The more basic that you keep this, the easier it is to stay consistent. You don't want to get overwhelmed, basically. But yeah, just make sure that you're not staying up past 11, 12 a.m. for absolutely no reason. Make sure that you're getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every single night. And as long as you stay consistent, you don't have to always have a perfect routine, perfect diet, perfect everything. As long as you do most of these things 80% of the time, you will see results. Just stay consistent. Don't focus on perfection. Consistency beats perfection every single time. If you focus on perfection, you'll beat yourself down. Self-sabotage, you really don't want that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, I do still have a few spots for one-on-one coaching, completely free, so just check out that link in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.